Welcome everyone to tonight's show. All right, today we're going to get started. If you guys want to join in, please grab a seat. If you have something that you would like to say, you can text it into the group chat and one of us will read it out. But today we want to talk about just suggestions, some do's and don'ts when helping someone deal with a traumatic experience. And just for example, I hear people talk about giving others advice on dealing with death, on dealing with a breakup, on dealing with the loss of a job, just an accident, right? And what are some things that you want to suggest, some do's and don'ts, to tell us how you feel about that? And Nicole, I'm going to let you get started.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. We hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I feel like some of the dues should be leave the questions like open-end questions. It shouldn't be like a right or wrong answer. Just give them a lot of open end, whereas they're able to elaborate, really get into a good explanation of, what they're actually going through. I also think a lot of times it's just best to like pull yourself out and just open yourself up to listen to, that individual. Cause it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about them and what they're feeling and, ways to get through it. So I just think that's a like, don't do the closing questions. Always do opening questions, giving them opportunities to, because a lot of people, and as myself such, I might tell you a little bit, but I'm not going to go, too far. But if it keeps coming back at me, then it gives me room to go deeper and deeper as far as communicating back and opening up to you.
Right. I get what you're saying. Deborah, welcome. Hello. And our other listeners that have tuned in.
All
We're
right.
talking about some do's and don'ts, Deborah, when you're helping someone through a traumatic situation. It could be a loss of a job. It could be a loss of a loved one, a relationship, a child, anything, death in the family. And Nicole was sharing some things that she feels, and I agree, because the premise of the show is talking about communication, and I think that personally, just from personal experiences, a lot of women traditionally have communicated better than men in certain situations, and I want to try to help the guys out and strengthen our methods and levels of communication. Um, and one thing that I agree, Nicole, like you said, you don't want to, I'm going to mix the do's and don'ts. You don't want to take away from what that person is dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And I've observed a lot of people will say, yeah, because when I, and you're removing everything from that person, right? And I think a positive way is letting them know I empathize with you, because sympathy is sorrow, understanding to someone. But when you empathize, you have experienced it yourself.
Correct.
And you let them know, hey, I empathize, I've been where you are, right? And leave it at that. You don't have to get into details, because now you're taking away. And don't force it. And also, do not set a time limit or expected behavior on the way someone grieves, because a person losing their mother, and I try not to be rude to some people. When I lost my mom, first off, my mother was murdered. That's a tragic death.
Correct.
It's unexpected. It was more devastating to go to her house and see that she had a half-lit cigarette that she pushed out to smoke later. So her plans were to come back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her clothing laid out, like everything is there. It's not like people have time to prepare because parents are ill or in the hospital. Secondly, don't talk to me about how I should grieve when you've never lost a parent.
Correct. Oh my God.
You don't know what it's like. You don't know what I'm dealing with, because a part of me wants them to lose a parent so they can see what I feel and see what I'm going through. And I was like, man, I shouldn't feel this way. Now I'm finding myself wanting someone to lose a parent, which, is not
That's
a good thing.
it's just hurt. Being hurt.
And offer
Yeah.
yourself, just offer yourself,
Yeah.
and accept if they don't need you, accept that as well.
Correct. Correct.
Because people grieve differently. And even in relationships, I've heard people deal with breakups and marriages.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you can't view my situation like your situation.
Absolutely.
You know, I may have children with this person. You don't.
Yep.
You may have owned a home with them or had businesses. Like, every situation is unique and different. And respect that, and never force your views and opinions on how. Then you can suggest, hey man, I want to try to help you deal with the situation, and get past this, because eventually you have to get beyond it. But I can't set a time limit for you
That's right. That's right. So
on,
people
on what
believe
you
it.
should do. Yeah,
Yep.
some people grieve for
Late.
life.
Some
Listen,
people
my
never
my
get over it.
my grandfather died when I was like first or second grade, and for years he had developed Alzheimer's. He was not able to speak, but he could communicate, nonverbal communication.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when he died, I was close to my grandfather
Mm-hmm.
only because of my age. I stayed at my grandmother's house after kindergarten. Back then we only went half days. That's showing our age.
Right.
So I would go to my grandparents' house second half. So I was a little closer to him. And I remember when he died, he started turning cold before the coroner got there. And as a kid, I remember pushing him in front of the heater, thinking if I could get him to warm up again, he'd come back to life. I was like, again, first or second grade. That was in the early 80s, right? At 2010, maybe, I called my dad to see how he was doing. He was sad. He was in a bad mood. I said, man, was you all right? And he said, yeah, man, today's daddy's birthday. He said, I'm about to go down here with her and Frank, his brothers. He said, yeah, we're going to just have a little sip together, and today is daddy's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself that my grandfather had been gone for 30 years, and it would have been his 100th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad and uncles were still grieving over his death like it just happened.
Right.
I didn't understand it at the time because I've never lost a parent. And finally, when I did, I understood. I understood, and I spoke to my aunt about it. She was a baby. And, this happened like a couple of months ago. I finally spoke to her. And when she went through the timeline and she told me, she said, I lost my father. And 3 years later, I lost my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine being in this world after having your mother and father your entire life. Parents that supported you, took care of you. My aunt never had to work. She had cars, she had a house. She never had wanted for anything. My grandmother cooked breakfast every day, watched her kids, like everything. And then now you have no one.
Right.
How much anxiety would that be? And think about our kids, how much we support our kids now. Even if it's not monetarily, we support them mentally and emotionally. Yeah. And imagine them not having us to call on.
Oh yeah. God knows.
How different the world would be. So I thought about that, and I don't want to. Deborah, you're here. Robin, please share.
Quick
We're talking
question.
about, yes.
Why does it keep it never did this before, but now when I come in, if I put
I
my
know it
phone
keeps
on
saying,
mute?
yeah, it keeps asking you to rejoin or something like that. I don't know why, but you're still there.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. It only does it to you.
Right.
Did you change
I wanted
phones?
to ask if it was doing to anybody else.
No.
No, my phone is still the same from the last couple of times we, did this. I don't know. Maybe I'll uninstall the app and then install it back.
Saw it. Yeah. So tell us, Deborah, Robin, we want to hear what you all have to say, and our listeners. Chantel. We have Gar.
Yeah, I definitely agree that, you have to kind of keep yourself out of it for the most part when you are, just be there, be the listening ear, be the shoulder to cry on. That's how I really look at stuff. If you call me and you say you need me, I'm there. If I call you and you sound a little down, I'm there because I've always been the crazy friend that's going to come over and make you laugh no matter what the situation. So I try to, for me, laughter
It's good.
it's great. So when I know, someone around me is in a really, low moment for me, it
Hmm.
is it's a thing of let me bring laughter to them in this moment, and make them feel better. I know it's not going to stop the pain, but it'll
Right.
temporarily just take your mind off of what you're stewing on, that has you in this energy. So, for me, I'm big on energy. So I always try to change the energy. Let's get out. Let's just go walk or let's go, something like that. But as far as like giving advice, I agree with you, Koshan, what you said about, empathizing if you've been there, but not inserting your situation into it to make it, like seem like it's now the story is about you. I remember my, one of my dearest friends, she was with another one of my friends and it was an abusive relationship, and I really stopped dealing with him for the most part because I can't be your friend and condone things that I wouldn't condone in my own life. So, I stopped really, I like separated myself from him, and, I let her know, I'm like, baby, you are worth so much more. That's how I would talk to her. I wouldn't ever tell her like, you need to leave him. You need to, you know what I'm saying? Like in moments where she would call me like, he's in a rage, Deb, can you come? Can you help? I would go get her, remove her from the situation. You know what I'm saying? I understood like her staying because of her background and where she came from. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to make her feel any type of way about that, but I wanted to feed into her like you are so much more than what you're allowing yourself to receive. Brother or
Mm.
no brother, yes, this is my brother, not my blood brother, but this is my brother, but I don't condone this and I don't want you to condone this. And so, over time, I just kept feeding into her. You know what I'm saying? I would never, like, and she would always look at me and be like, I don't understand how you can separate yourself from guys. Like the minute they do something you don't like, they out of there. She was like, how do you do that? And I was like, that's not something I can teach you. Like that's something you learn from standing up for yourself and setting
Can I ask you a
boundaries
question?
for yourself.
Do you think you limit your connection from the beginning to be able to separate yourself?
Well, I mean, you talking about with my brother?
No, with men. I asked because I remember with my when my wife and I talked about when I came around, right? Everybody was shocked. Everybody in her family was shocked. And I'm like, man, she's a smart young lady. She's an attractive young lady. Why are they so shocked? And she's like, well, I never really brought anyone around like that.
Yes,
So
like me.
she's never allowed herself to be attached to someone. So it
Yeah,
was
I,
always
I can probably
easier.
say that.
So it's easier to walk away when things didn't work out. It was easier to walk away because she never allowed herself to be attached to someone. So do you think that's what it is with you?
So I would definitely say yes. And I would when I look at why I do that, I know it goes back to my dad and the abandonment issues I have from him. And so for
You
me,
don't want to deal with that again.
yeah, the easiest way for me to like get through the hurt and the pain of my dad not being there was for me to like act like he didn't exist in my life at all. And it was a hard thing to do because though he, was on drugs, I loved my daddy.
Your dad,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
you didn't care
saying?
about him not having
I
money or
didn't care
losing a
about,
car.
I just wanted you to show up and come around. Like when you know
Right,
we're here, like show up. Cause you're right around the corner, right? I
right.
can walk around the corner and find you. So why can't you walk around the corner and find me?
You probably,
So
well, I
like,
don't know him and not making excuses, but as a man, I talked to my dad about this, and sometimes when you want to be a certain way, when you can't show up that way, they would rather not show up at all. It's not right.
yeah,
It's not just helping you understand what. Now, I want to ask, do you think it's fair to the men in your life?
no, definitely not, which is why I worked
Okay.
on it. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I
Okay.
did, that is something that I have definitely worked on, like being able to be attached. So, but even still, I still go in with the mindset of, and I don't, I can't say that this is the best thing, but I know it works for me.
Right.
I'm still going to go into a situation with a guy with the mindset of, I'm going to take this day by day. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see where it goes. I'm going to be open to it, but I'm not going to have any real expectations because if it doesn't work out, I don't want to be disappointed at the end. I want to be
But
able to
he's,
say, well, I tried there and it didn't work
but you
out.
didn't
So,
try though. You didn't try. You holding back. You didn't give it your all.
but I do though.
Not if you're like one. You got one foot in. And I've been there, and I can tell you this is not fair to that person because I've been there. No one wants to feel heartbreak. No one wants to experience rejection. So I've been the person that would not go all in a relationship. If I'll be with someone, but I got 3 women on layaway.
But see, I'm not like that though. Like I'll be with you.
And
Listen,
not
the
just
more
having
you,
backups, just not being fully committed. Like I'm not looking like no dummy. No, I'm not doing that. No,
right.
I'm not doing that.
But no, I won't. I don't look at stuff like that no more. Like I'm gonna be
Okay.
open with you. I'm gonna be vulnerable with you. I'm gonna give of
Okay.
myself the way I want you to give of yourself. But in dealing with you, if you're not showing up in a manner that makes me feel good about being here, right? If it's not
Right.
reciprocal, if it's not consistent, if it's not clear, right? If there's any
Yes.
confusion and all of that, then I know this is not for me. But if
Okay.
we rocking and we're able to have these conversations and I see, like, yeah, you're getting, when you get off of work, you hit me up. You might be tired, but you took the moment to just hit me up and check on me, see how my day was, and then say, all right, I'm gonna take it down. You know what I'm saying? Like little things like that is like, it's all you need. Like if I don't hear from you for like me and Savannah was saying before, if I don't hear from you for like 2, 3, 4 days, baby, what is the point? Because for the last 4 days, if you didn't think of me not one time,
Right. Right.
then why am I entertaining you?
And the importance is
So
to communicate all of that. Although it seems like I shouldn't have to tell you,
right, I have to
never
tell
take
you.
communication for granted. Yes, never take communication for granted. Always make sure you tell someone. Chantel, we want to hear from you. Robin, we want to hear from you.
I think one of them was saying they was having a hard time coming off mute. But to while we wait to hear from them to go back, my homegirl that I was telling you about, like eventually she removed herself from that situation, right? She got out of it and she never went back. And we had a conversation, I swear to you, this was probably like 3 weeks ago. We had a conversation and she said to me, she said, you know something? She said, you will always be my favorite person in the world. She said, because when I was, going through that, she said, you never, like everybody else would call me stupid and say, you know what I'm saying, you're a dummy. And she was like, you never ever came at me like that. She said, you always just fed
Supported
me
her.
like, yeah, she was like, you always told me what I was worth and showed me what I was worth and how you handled me. And she said, and it made me cry. It did. Like it made me cry because you don't realize the impact that you have sometimes on other people's lives when you're really just being your true authentic self and supporting them out of love. and nothing more, you know? But she, she said it to me. She was like, if it wasn't for you, I'd probably still be there, honestly.
In a dark
But
place.
that was a hard pill to swallow. You know what I'm saying? That was a really hard pill to swallow for me.
Right.
Because she is amazing. You know what I'm saying? She is beautiful. She is a loving, kind, like she's one of those women you don't come across every day. So why would you want to do her like that?
And that's good that you have those characteristics. A lot of people don't. And understanding how to communicate. So I don't have all the answers, right? I'm just trying to,
We never will.
yeah, I'm just trying to help some
Sounds
people
good.
understand some important strategies. But when it comes to our guests, I see you're seated, but you don't have a name. You didn't update your name when you came in, but please feel free to share with us some suggestions, some do's and don'ts when helping someone with a traumatic experience or dealing with trauma. And you're on there live, and I don't know the person's name. It just when they come in, it creates a generic account with letters GVIH.
Sorry, y'all might hear me shaking up my meat because I'm trying to marinate it. If I put
Yes.
myself on mute, it's gonna.
Hold on. No, don't mute. Yes, we're here. Can you hear us?
I can hear you a little better now.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why I didn't update my name.
What's going on? So we're talking
You have to
about.
create a profile in order for it to update your name. Did you do that?
I did already, but I'll do it, I guess, once I get off.
Yeah.
And I do it while I'm on it.
So we want you to share with us some do's and don'ts when helping someone through a traumatic experience. What are some things that you suggest people do, don't, and think about when you went through a traumatic experience. What are some things you're like, man, I don't want to hear that, man.
Man, I got.
Oh, what you appreciated. What are some things you appreciated from others as well?
So, I didn't hear everything because I'm out in Alaska, so it was hard trying to get on. I feel that when you helping somebody, you got to take yourself out of it, even if you already went through it. Because me personally, if I'm going through something trauma, I don't want to hear you tell me, "Oh, when I went through this, this is what I did." Because, like the young lady said, everybody are different. Everybody receives information differently. So you got to keep in mind that if you're helping somebody from a good space in life, then you got to talk to them on that level, on a level of being sincere. A lot of people have this thing in their mind that when they try to help somebody, they're doing it for the credit. They're doing it for people to know that they're the one that helped that person get through that. And that's not good because at the end of the day, everybody want help from somebody that's gonna boast about it. Because if you help me, you help me. I don't need you to be the one going back saying, "Oh, when so and so son got shot or went to jail, I was the one to tell him to do it this way, and he did it. That's why his boy home today." Like that's boastful. You know what I'm saying? Like boasting ain't gonna get you nowhere. But if you sincerely helping somebody through trauma, then you gotta help them from a spark within, which comes from love, which come from being selfless. Like you can't think about yourself. You're only thinking about the person you're trying to help at that time. And being that when trauma happens, sometimes words can't even comfort you. Sometimes you might just need to hug a person and that's just better, than having a whole speech on how you're trying to help them because, me myself, man, I've been in so much trauma things in my life that
Oh man.
Tell you,
People wouldn't believe it.
If I sit on there and tell people my trauma, man, we'd be on here for the next 6 hours. And then we all gonna need therapy. And I go to therapy every Wednesday at work, So I just feel that, what you do on your podcast is good. I want to give you that, bro. Like, I want to tell you that. Like, I've been listening when I
Thank you. This means a lot.
I've been listening,
I know,
bro, Trust me,
but the listeners is the most important. The listeners are the most important part of the podcast. If you don't have enough time to speak, and I know everyone is not comfortable with being a public speaker. And for you all the listeners here, this is my big brother, man. When I say I love him,
What's his name?
it's an understatement. This is Curtis. This is my brother
Curtis, man.
Oh, hi, Curtis. How are you?
How are you?
Hi, Curtis.
While he's here, we're giving him a shout out. He is a merchant seaman, and he's like, I don't even know what his exact title is, but
I
he's
know.
helped
I
about
feel it.
140, like
Right.
140 something people.
Yeah,
What are you
yeah.
up to now?
I'm at 202, bro. I've helped 202 people gainfully got jobs as merchant seamen. I am the
All
master
right.
mate in
Yes.
Alaska on an all tanker barge. Matter of fact, bro, I come home the end of this month. I got to take a young guy from James Island to New Orleans to the company. I got him hired yesterday, and he wants
All
him to be
right.
there by February the 3rd. So he will be 203. I haven't made no announcement yet. I'm working
Wow.
on this community center thing. I've
That's
been in and out of
amazing.
meetings all day, like just trying to get all kind of people on board to try to help me boost this fundraiser that I'm about to do to try to get the roof on the community center. So I was just talking to Ann McGill. I'm trying to get her to get Live 5 to do a little segment in the community part of their news to let people know what I got going on. But I
Mm.
feel that
Okay.
a lot of people want to probably look at who I am, where I come from, and don't contribute or help. And I'm not going to let that terminate me from doing what I got to do because I
Mm-hmm.
got backup plan in
Never
place
let
for
it.
the backup plan. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everybody keeps telling me, let the community help. Let them know what you're doing. You know, I pulled to yesterday. Okay, hey, the building that I got needs a roof. One company told me 77,000 to do all the metal roof, everything. One company told me 30,000 just to do one part of the roof. The people told me, oh, it has mold. We can do that for 44,000. We come and tear everything out, kill the mold. So I finally spoke to that guy the other day, and we just kept talking. He wanted $44,000, but at the end of our conversation, he donated $21,000 back to me. So he's gonna do the
Wow.
Wow.
project for 21,000. So it's like he's like, listen, if you want me to do the work, this is what I'm charging you. But if I get the job, then this is what I'm giving you back. He said, I just got to pay my guys that's from doing it,
Wow.
fighting the mold. But he's like,
Mm.
I'm donating 21,000 toward the cost. So, I mean, so I'm
Wow.
not going to stop. I will have the community center up and running so everybody can enjoy it. And like I said, I was listening earlier because we got a lot of death going on around us. And I know when you call someone and say, my condolence to you and your family, it's hard. But
Mm-hmm.
in reality, you're really talking to the ones that are still here because those are the ones that got to deal with it. So
Right.
trauma hits different, you know, and everybody takes trauma different. I mean, I'm to it now because of all the things I've seen. I mean, if, like I said, if I talk to you about my life, even in 2005, you know, when there's four
Oh
guys in the
man.
truck, and right
Oh
now
man.
it's 2025, and I'm the last person living right now, you know. So that means the other three dudes I was with, there's no how
People
many
wouldn't
people
believe
on
it.
this side of the store.
People wouldn't believe it, man. Listen,
You talking?
I spoke to somebody about that recently, and this was like a week before Christmas, maybe.
Yeah.
But listen, beyond that, when I talk about 2005, so my brother, I was working at a car dealership at the time. I said, bro, man, I'm trying to get some money together. You know, I make commission. He said, bro, don't worry, I got you. He said, if I send these people to you, can you get them in a car? I said, I can get them in anything. I don't care if they got a 200 credit score. I got a finance guy, right? So my brother was sending a customer to me, what, about 2 weeks maybe or more?
Yeah.
So my finance guy was like, hey, man, your brother's doing so good. He started off saying, I'll give him $100. He sent us so many customers. He was like, yo, I got so much money. My brother would come by this guy, giving him 500, 400, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I'm telling you, the end of that year turned so dark. And you talk about trauma, just picture this for a second. He had four guys, and I mean, there were four of them in the vehicle, right?
Uh-huh.
One person got shot and killed, got shot in the vehicle with him. He had to take this guy
Mm.
to the emergency room, took him to the emergency room. They walked past the guy like it was nothing. The people at the hospital didn't help the young man out. He ended up dying, right? One,
Mm.
one of the passengers had a bullet go through the rim of his hat that day.
Mm.
And what happened? The next week he got murdered.
The next week on Christmas, he got murdered.
The next week he got murdered.
Mm.
The last guy that was living, a couple years
What
after
the?
that, he got
No,
shot.
no. He
He
went to
got shot
prison.
and killed.
He went to prison first. Then
He went to
6 months.
prison,
Got out of.
di-
Went back
got out
to
of
prison
prison,
for 7 years. got boxed
Went to prison for
for
7 years. As soon as he got out, he got shot. And how long was he living at his parents' house before he died?
about a year, almost a year, and he died a year later.
Died a year later. And but going back to 2005, two kids that Curtis grew up with from early childhood. I'm talking kindergarten all through school, riding bikes, riding the bus, fighting each other to being boys. We live in a small town where the speed limit is 35 miles per hour. And Mike and Thaddeus died in a car accident right in front of the bank. Where the speed limit is 35 miles per hour. Two of his childhood friends and classmates died, right?
What?
Listen,
And
his
look, if
other
you gonna keep on
childhood friend, listen, he has another childhood friend and classmate that my first cousin, I talking about literally grew up together, picking plums off trees, sharing everything. He went in the bathroom and shot himself in the mouth, committed suicide. His other classmate, neighbor, got into it with his baby mama, took off with his child. Police got behind him. He went on the top of the Cooper River Bridge and jumped. His other classmate and childhood friend died of a stroke the night before my wedding. Swinton, I'm talking about these are his literal from kindergarten and neighbors playing together.
What in the world?
Another classmate.
I'm trying not to interrupt you, but I'm just like, I'm getting overwhelmed.
There's another classmate that Curtis gave a place, let him live with him, moved him in, lived with him. This guy tried to get his life together, went up to New York, working security. A guy was fighting his girl or whatever. He broke it up. The guy left, came back and shot and killed him.
Jesus. Lord have mercy.
But listen, those are just, I ain't getting into
all these people
them.
from y'all from the area where he
No,
lives?
listen, no. These are just his classmates.
Classmates.
Yeah, those are just the guys his age. Another one went to a bike club party, got into a fight with a guy, and the guy shot and killed him, O'Teeth.
Yeah.
Like these are just his classmates, not counting homeboys and, friends.
Oh, Jesus.
So when he says you get numb, sometimes when he's like, man, you get numb to it, but I don't want to feel that way, and to think that, hey, I don't care about death or things like that, man. Terry, what's going on, man? Welcome.
I just popped in, man, and I heard you talking about, all our homeboys, our classmates, our neighbors, our friends, and those are just we're not
from one
even
area.
talking about the other. Yeah, we're not.
That's just one area.
Passed away in accidents and other things such as that. So that
those are just murders. Those are murders and tragic
those are
deaths.
just murders. Yeah, we're not talking about the other, our classmates that that drowned or were in accidents or anything like that. Those are just the local stuff, man. That's wild. You know what, Coach?
That's wild work.
You know what? Real quick, Coach, man. I knew all of that. Of course, we're pretty much from the same area. You from
right,
town, from the other side of town. But all of these were people that I knew as well.
Y'all all went to the same elementary. That's starting.
We all went to the same elementary, the same middle school, the same high school.
High school, yes.
But
yes.
I never put all of those together in one conversation. And the way you just did it, man.
Because he has an excellent memory.
Right.
The way he broke that down, but that's crazy.
Yeah, but the way you just did it, man, it really put a perspective on it.
On it, yes.
So that is why my brother and I, Curtis and I, talk differently because growing up, Jerron and Curtis are 2 years older than I am. Paul's and I the same age. Jerron and Curtis, Swinton, Brian McCrae, Gene, all that was the crew, right?
Right.
So growing up, 2 years is like a big gap. You know what I'm saying?
Parkland, Salters Hill. Yeah.
Parkland to Salters Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for the people that's not from our area, we have 4 elementary schools, right? And like 2 to 3 neighborhoods go to each elementary. These guys are all from one road, right? And the same elementary, right? So that's how far they go back to each other. Like these guys knew each other when they didn't have teeth. And growing up, I got to middle school. I'm a sixth grader. They're eighth graders. So these are the big boys at the middle school. This is who you talk to. They introduce you to girls. If something happens, hey, I got to hang out with them. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, just seeing them lose people so close to them. When I say close, I'm talking about living with, feeding, the whole nine, so it's a lot. It's a
That is a lot. That is a lot.
Yeah, to think about that type trauma.
Right. I can see how a person could just feel numb, like you just
Right.
yeah. Oh, that's just too much. Right. Oh my God.
So now when we talk about when it's time to grieve, right?
Right.
It's gotten to the point where I'll be like, man, bro, thing got killed. Dang, what happened to him? Oh, and it becomes dismissive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hate to be that way where you grow numb to it. Something that, Terry, Big Irvin from Red Talk, right? Big Irvin McKinley.
Yeah.
So Irvin is about, what, 6'5", 6'6"? Irvin is built like Shaquille O'Neal. Broad shoulders, big guy. Just everything about him says, a man's man, right? When my mom died, I bumped into Irvin and Verizon. And as big as I'm 6'3", 275, and Irvin towers over me.
Right.
I saw him at Verizon. He said, hey, Bubble. He said, man, sorry to hear about your mom. He said, man, I said, yeah, man, I'm gonna be all right. He said, man, come here. He grabbed me. Irvin hugged me. And Irvin said, I wish I could tell you it'll get easier, but I can't. He said, I wish I could tell you some words to help you heal, but I can't. He said, man, my mama was gone for however long she's been gone. And he said, that thing still hurts me every day, man. He said, every day when I get up to go to work, I look at that window waiting on my mama to yell out the window, good morning, have a good day, or what you want to eat, right? And this man grabbed me and broke down and started crying in Verizon. And I broke down. Now imagine, like I said, I'm 6'3", 275. Irvin about 6'5", 6'6", at least.
Two big 6 feet plus dudes, 220, 30, 40, 50 pounds.
50, 60, 70 pounders.
Yeah, two of them in Verizon break down and they crying.
Hugging each other, crying, man. Boo-hoo crying.
Yeah.
Consoling me. I'm just on his shoulders like a baby.
Yeah.
And the whole store is looking like, what the heck is going on?
What is going on? What do we do?
With these two. And when he said that to me, he said, Bubba, he let me, I'm talking about, I'm crying, snot coming out my nose, bro. I got this man's shirt snotty up. I said, man, I want your shirt, man. He like, Bubba, he said, man, I thought about it. And I tell people the same thing, that as time went on, if I think about it, it hurts me like it just happened. But the only thing that time has done is allow me to live with the grief.
That's how it works.
But I had to stop from being, I spoke with a friend of mine. They lost a child. They ended up getting divorced. And she told me that they grieved differently. She said the husband wanted to sit and mope and cry every day. Her friends wanted her to go out and enjoy herself, like we don't want you sad all day. At least laugh or smile a couple hours a day. And he felt like, how can you be out partying and we lost a child? And it led to a divorce. So I think about how upset I was with my siblings, because I felt like they should grieve the way I grieved. And I had to learn that grief looks different. Grief looks different
for everyone.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And then
it
goes back and forth, and it ebbs and flows. You can feel like you're making progress, and then you're back to like it just happened, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even realize that you're in the midst of the grief until you really look up. I'm for me, I just lost my grandfather in April of 2024. And he was when I tell you he was my favorite person in the world. And I was his. And so, when when I got the call that he was gone, I had all the kids for spring break here with
Mm.
me.
Mm.
And so, and mind you now, all of the kids also have to go back to, to Georgia or whatever, but I had them here in Florida with me. And so I couldn't, I had to, really just remove myself from, it almost felt like I had to remove myself from my body in
Mm.
order to not like break down in the manner in which my body wanted to do in that moment, because I had these three babies who were so close to my grandfather as well. You know what I'm saying? Who I
Mm.
now have to tell and console, and I'm by myself. Like there's no other
Mm.
adult here that can help me in this moment with these three, young babies. And I mean, and they're,
Mm.
12 and 11 and 10, but yeah, like
Mm.
it was one of the hardest times for me. And so by putting that off, I didn't even really grieve. Like I went to the funeral. There was never any real breakdown. There was never anything. But like here we are now in 2025, and I looked up, you know what I'm saying? It was almost like, it was so weird, y'all. It was almost like I came back into myself, and I looked up, and I had just got through weight loss journey. I made it down to 220 pounds. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Smallest I've been in a minute. I think I mentioned that before. And now I'm back at 276.
Mm.
I didn't even think about the fact. It never even dawned on me that from the day I got the call, I had not went to the gym. I had not done an exercise. And before then, it was every day. Like every day I was exercising. Every day you get what I'm saying? But even
Mm.
in all of this time from March till now, I hadn't even looked up enough to even realize I had stopped doing something so vital, and now my health, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm looking at myself like, wait, you're going back the other way. You can't do this. But it was all in the grief that I was holding. So I literally my son stayed in Georgia for the holidays. So through that time, I took that time of me being alone to really feel it, feel it
Mm.
and work through it and
Work
move
through it, please.
through it.
Mm.
Yeah, and now I'm back
Process
in the gym. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm back in the
it.
gym. I'm back with a trainer. I'm back, like, but I can also, I mean, I can have moments where I just break down out of nowhere. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Broke down in
I
the
was
gym
going
the
through
other
that.
day.
Mm.
Yeah, I literally, I was working out and broke down out of nowhere. And he's like, "What is it? Are you hurting?" I'm like, "Yeah, but not in the way you think."
Mm-hmm.
So it shows up in so many different ways, the way we
Mm-hmm.
handle our grief and the way we sometimes don't even acknowledge that we're grieving, but we are. Like I was eating my grief, and
Mm.
it didn't even dawn on me that that's what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's just really, it's really eye opening to see, and I've had very important people in my life pass before then, but, and I never handled it that way. I never ate my grief.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? It was
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know, but something with him and not being able, having to separate myself for the kids really just separated myself from myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's hard and it's rough, but I just feel like as long as you approach people with love, and just you just keep love at the forefront, you know, sometimes don't give words, just give love. Just
Facts.
like what Sean said, getting that hug, you know what I'm saying? In the store, like in
Mm-hmm.
Verizon, sometimes
Absolutely.
that's
And I
all
think
you
that's
can
far
do.
better than words, because sometimes people say things to you when you're grieving that are offensive and they don't realize it. They're trying to help, but they just say something that upsets the person. It's better sometimes to give a hug and not to, or to ask, what can you do versus,
Yeah, because I hate when people be like, Are you okay? Like, no, duh, I'm not
No,
okay.
right,
Like, and I
right,
done been
that,
asked that 18 times today. Let me just make
right,
a whole
that part,
announcement that I'm not okay. Okay?
right,
So everybody
that
will know
part.
I'm not okay. I might be here smiling and cracking a
Mhm,
joke and laughing with you guys, but I am like, I'm torn
mhm,
on the inside, but I'm here and
that,
I'm
yes,
trying to stay present so I can
mhm,
just make it through the day.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, you're forced
You
to
know,
compartmentalize. You're forced to compartmentalize. I'm sorry. I'm
right.
not I'm not, I'm just speaking from experience.
Yeah, I think we all are. We all, we've all had those moments. We've all had those, those situations.
Mhm,
And, when they were talking about losing all, their friends at young ages, like I had my best friend, Nicole. She was and I'm sorry, Nicole, that y'all got the same name, but, she was my best friend. And I'm talking about from the time we were literally, like he said, time we were born before we had teeth. We, kindergarten,
mhm,
first grade, second grade, third grade. In the
mhm,
fifth grade, we left each other. She came over to my house. She ate dinner with my family. My
mhm.
uncle went and walked her around. Like we both walked her home, came back. And the next morning, her mom called and said she died in her sleep from an aneurysm.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord.
And it was like, I don't even like to be young. That was my second real experience really with losing someone
Close.
important to
Mhm.
me. Yeah,
Yeah,
but and for that to be my friend, like I didn't want to go to school anymore because
right.
she wasn't gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Like
No, I got it.
it's rough.
Oh, honey, I
It's
know.
rough. But for them to lose so many, like that's what it's crazy.
That's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Because Sean said we only have an hour today, you guys. If y'all didn't see the chat.
We had someone at Chantel. Chantel, I don't know if she was able to unmute, but her message was, she said, I have to be honest. I never had to help anyone through a traumatic experience that was not work related. And I'm afraid if I ever had to, it may come off very therapeutic, which it can be. That's what we're trying to get people to understand that you're acting like a counselor. Some people will take it like, oh, you think you're better than me or I'm wrong. Especially when we think about relationships, how do we get over relationships and things like that? So we have to be mindful when we're talking to one another, when we're talking to someone or trying to
Mhm.
help them, in our opinion, we're helping them through a traumatic experience
Mhm.
and not interject ourselves. And I hear a lot of times and it's funny to me. Now, this is not just sexually biased, but in a lot of instances when people break up, a lot of women have suggestions on what another woman should do or should not do.
Mhm.
But they don't share how many times they've played the fool, how many times
Mhm.
they've gone back, or how many times
Very
they've
much
done
so.
XYZ. But they always have
Mhm.
suggestions that are negative.
That's where they the
Mhm.
most tight lipped. Trust me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, you should do this, or I would do that, or I would never, or that couldn't have been me. That couldn't have been me.
Mhm.
But it has been you 15 times. We're just not disclosing it.
Mhm.
So I think about things like that too when you're making suggestions for people. So when we talk about grief, we went to death when my brother started talking because of all the traumatic experiences he's had. But,
Mhm.
people deal with things sometimes with not getting a job that they wanted,
Mhm.
where it feel like, I'm trying to have a baby and I can't have a baby. I'm trying to get
Mhm.
married. I can't find a spouse. There's different things, challenges that we face.
Listen,
And,
I could write a book and thought about it. I'm well acquainted with
Mhm.
trauma. Well acquainted.
and I want to end it. We still have 2 minutes, you all. And again, I want to thank everybody, the listeners, the panelists, the hosts, and everyone. I want to thank you all for your feedback. And we're going to come back again on another day, of course, on Fridays, but we're definitely going to try to come back on another day. And
Yeah, I was surprised when this one popped up.
Oh,
Was
me
like,
too. And I was like,
yeah,
oh, they sent a link. I was like,
right.
get on.
so we had some
Hey.
listeners, and they were talking about one of the past episodes. And another thing,
one other reason we should not dismiss a person's trauma is because we don't know the effects beyond the trauma that we can see. Like when we,
Sure.
oh, yeah, you got a relationship with him, girl, let that go. But you don't know the bond that my children may have had with him as well, or how my children are impacted by this breakup beyond me. You don't know the other effects it has. My family, this person could have helped my brother get a job, or just beyond my intimate relationship. You really don't know the situation. So be supportive, be an active listener, try your best to be understanding and not be judgmental. And like I said, don't say your personal views. Yeah. And especially
so
with
many
me,
people do it. So many people
they do it. No, I tell people, look, you're not me. I can't tell you what to do. I handle my things differently. Or I've been through X, Y, Z. So I know that my perspective is different. But I'm here to offer some advice, and I'm always going to try a positive resolution. Always going to try a positive resolution. Hey man, you need to try to work things out if you can. You know,
Yeah.
you can't go back to that. Look, and deal with the problem you know versus the problem you don't know. You know. So, but we're closing
Yeah,
out
just
now.
speaking love. Speaking love into people a lot of times will get them to open their own eyes to what their situation is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we're down. Oh man, and welcome to Bonnie coming in. We're just closing out.
Savannah,
We
of
did an
course you would
hour.
be Johnny come lately, Jenny come lately, right now.
Yes.
Y'all, I was in the gym when Coach Shaw put it on. I was like, okay, I'm ready. He waited like an hour later.
Go ahead. You all can continue. Just please get her caught up on what we're discussing and what's going on.
We were discussing like the do's and don'ts, you know, how you should handle people like when they're going through a traumatic situation and you're trying to like lend your support or, you know, your helping hand, lend your support.
Don't say dumb stuff. I'm sure that's already been said.
Yeah, we did talk. We did touch on, you know, not knowing that how certain things you say can affect people. Like, you know, it may come off, you know, harsh or callous, you know, or unemotional when, you know what I'm saying, just in the manner in which you deliver it and not knowing what, you know, how their trauma is affecting them in that moment.
Yeah, I know with me, I know like it's coming up on the anniversary of my sister passing away on Thursday, and people just sometimes don't say nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
Did I say that? Yeah, I said that, Savannah.
yeah, to ask questions like, "Are you okay?" or "How you feel?" Sometimes, I mean, you think you're doing okay, but if I wasn't even thinking about it, like you probably now thinking about it. You know what I'm
Now
saying?
you triggered me, right? Well, then we said just give a gesture, give hugs, or ask what can you do. Don't try to, you know, you go. I don't know. Be careful about what you say because you can really offend someone when they're grieving.
And I think, you know, you can't take it, you know, people aren't doing it maliciously. You know what I'm saying?
Of course
But
not. Of
you
course
just,
not.
you know, and I know something that bugs the crap out of me is like, I don't know if y'all had touched on it, but like the religious aspect of it, that ain't for everybody. So everybody don't want to hear all that. Everybody don't want to hear, oh, they're in a better place and that don't work for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you, especially read the room, like know your audience before you start all that. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's somebody who don't subscribe to all of that, you ain't helping.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was saying.
Like I probably like I'm not the type of person to tell anybody else like, you know, there's a silver lining in this. But for me, myself, in order to get through it, like I'm probably telling myself like I gotta see the silver lining, even if the silver lining is that I have all these great memories. I got to spend the time with them, you know, and I got to at least have that. Like, you know, those are the type of things that I look for to help me get through a situation. I wouldn't necessarily tell anybody else like, oh, just look for the silver lining in it. You know, it'll be fine.
Right.
Or
Depending on their personality, there might be, hot time heals all things.
no, it
Right,
don't.
right.
No, it don't. Yeah. Everybody's different.
I think it's better to offer assistance if there's anything you need from me. I'm here for you, that type of thing.
I think
versus
that's the best way to go too. I agree.
asking, the things like, "Are you okay?" which is obvious idiotic question.
And you
Just
can ask a
off.
question, but you can ask it like instead of "Are you okay?"
Just
Maybe not
checking
even
on
ask
you.
or just checking on you, right? Hey, I know what today
Mm-hmm.
is. Just checking on you. See what I'm saying? Like to me, that's
Right. Just
better.
checking in. Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
okay? You know what I mean? Because it's
Right.
like,
Right.
bro, like
You were on my mind. You were on my heart. I'm here for you.
and and you kind of, to me anyway, you see who your real people are when you go through, because like people will remember certain things for you. You know what I'm saying? Like not
For
for
sure.
you, but you know what I'm saying? Like if I know one of my homegirls, this is today, the day that her father passed away, that day every year, I'm going to check in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Or
for sure.
if it's something that she
Absolutely.
went through, you know what I'm saying? So, you kind of just, you get and you just check in, just be like, yo, and it could be nothing because they could be fine that year or that day, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so you gotta kind of tread lightly on that kind of stuff sometimes with people. But I missed this one. I'm gonna go back and listen to it.
You do it
And
right.
we also said like, when like, don't always insert yourself, like your own experiences into the
God.
yeah, like just sometimes just say, just be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it ain't about you. It's about
every
them.
trauma that I had, you had, and
Oh, when I had that happen to me, girl, I don't care.
Right. Yeah, we don't care. We don't care.
It's not about you today. Like,
Right.
yeah, definitely no. I see some new people on here. New people.
yeah, well, Shan couldn't get her mic off of mute.
Best friend Terry is here all day.
I see Terry.
Yeah, your best friend Terry is here.
Yo. Me and Terry done had it out today already on the group chat. So I think Coach Sean, what we was talking about today, we need to come Friday with that one. Cause Terry was trying it today in the group chat.
Terry, what you done done? What you done done?
On purpose, I'm sure.
Y'all know I don't like double standards. And he be staying with a double standard, baby. And I be like,
all I have to do is add her name to it, and I know she about to fire back.
Hey, please finish the discussion, Terry and Tavana. I want to hear the discussion that you all started. Please share that.
We ain't got time to do that in here. It's 7 minutes. You said.
No, we already went over, so we're gonna go to the second hour now. We're in the second hour.
Oh, bet. Okay, well, good. So, look. Okay, so y'all.
Tell me something good.
Terry gonna put in the group chat this little video with this dumb girl giving an illustration supposedly of how a man can have multiple partners, but a woman can't. Is she in the car with a water bottle pouring mustard and A1 sauce and stuff in a water bottle?
saying this is different guys, one woman being with different guys and seeking all of this bodily fluid.
Okay, and versus a man taking all these different women's bodily fluids. And this girl was trying to say all a man got to do is go in the shower and wash off and he fine. What? Girl.
Oh my God.
It's not. No.
Oh my
It ain't
God.
that easy.
It is not that easy. I'm like,
It
I
ain't that
think
easy.
men and women have exits and entrances, right? So therefore, things can get in both ways. Just because they have external parts and we have internal parts does not make us more or less susceptible to anything. It doesn't really matter. If it's there, it's there.
Right.
You can get it. And I was saying that with a man, men most likely don't even know they have anything because there's
right. They're carriers. A lot of times they're carriers. Right.
They're the carrier, but because our stuff is inside and it's going inside, our body is going to react quicker. So if there's something there, we gonna know within 2 days it's off. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so
talk about it.
And I was just like, yeah, I wish I could send the video in this chat here so y'all can listen to this dummy on here talk about this thing. Listen, that thing had me so hot. After I stopped laughing at her, I was like, this is the dumbest thing. But this is just how like misinformation, spreads across the internet like wildfire. You know what I'm saying? Because of dumb people that get on here
and how STD spread across the earth like wildfire too.
And
So wait. What did Terry say that
so
made
then
you?
Terry said, well, why would a woman want multiple partners? Huh?
Huh?
Same reason a man would. What kind of question is that? Who wants chicken forever? Nobody. Like nobody
Because
just
no
wants chicken.
eggplant is the same, right? So the variety.
Variety. Thank you. I don't want to
It
eat chicken
wasn't.
every day.
No. It wasn't about when I posted it. It wasn't about a woman wanting multiple partners. It was more so about. Let me rephrase that. It was about a woman wanting multiple partners, but there being a limit to her multiple partners. Now, what is it? Religion, polyandry, where the woman has multiple partners. Now, how many of these different guys that she's seen are actually ejaculating inside of her?
But that's only if you're not protecting yourself.
That was my simple point. But and here goes Tawana. Like, who does that? Well, Tawana, obviously you're different. All right, you're more mature. You've been more mature, from a younger age. Obviously, you think different. But my thing is, women are actually out there doing that, and that's why a lot of them don't even go biological fathers of their kids are. That
But
was just
flipping
my
to him,
simple point on it. I wasn't trying to get all off into everything else that you started talking about, but I know you was going to get you though.
but my point was to him, even if that is the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is like a self-cleaning oven. It doesn't soap. It doesn't need. I don't care how many people do that. It don't matter. It's gonna clean itself out and start back over. That's just the way it works. It's built that way, right?
You said
So
clean itself out. Yeah, that's a self-cleaning. It's a self-cleaning oven. But I mean, when you putting stuff in there that ain't coming out,
why ain't it coming out?
It comes out. What do you mean it ain't coming out? It comes out.
There's certain things that you do that, I mean, sexually, all right, if you get in with a bunch of other men, you're going to get something eventually, or if possibly get something eventually that you can't get out, you can't get rid of.
But so can a man. That's my
But
point.
so can a man. That's the point too. Making it works both ways.
Right. It doesn't matter. I don't. If I have 10 and you have 10, the probability of us getting something is the exact same. It is not any different for me.
For a woman versus
you.
a man.
It is 10. So the probability is going to be 4 for me, or 6, whatever the number you want to put on the probability doesn't change. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I guess that lady and a lot of other people are looking at it from that weird point of view of one is in and one is out. That doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because again, if it's unprotected, both people are susceptible. It doesn't matter, because a man has an opening just like a woman has an opening. So if the two openings are meeting, something can get in either way. So it really doesn't matter. It's not about the numbers and all of this, and people try to make it look like, oh, well, because if a woman, like, I guess, has a quote unquote high number, let's just say 50. If a woman got 50 and a man got 50, the woman's 50 is worse. How? It's no different. Because that woman could have had 50 and not one STD the entire time. The man could have had 50 and had 48 STDs. So now what?
Okay.
True.
I can kind of see that from your end, but here's something else that we talked about before. We talked about women having multiple partners again and not knowing who the fathers are.
Now I can understand that.
Or women, yeah, like women just being confused or not even knowing who they're.
Yeah, but okay. So if we want to talk about side effects, if we want to talk about side effects, then that I can agree with you on that. That could be a side effect that affects a woman, man.
Yeah. So when a woman go out here and she got her hot girl summer, you know what I'm saying, and she's I don't know, sleeping with multiple men, so she ends up pregnant, and she know who the father's for. Probably not. Maybe she works hands down for all 20, 30, 40.
Woman is.
Say again?
So that's what. So that, I mean, now if there's a drawback, then I will agree that the pregnancy part is a drawback for the woman, right? Because if you
For the woman, because the woman can make a baby, but the guys don't carry the baby.
That's right. So that's the only drawback, is maybe not knowing who your baby daddy is. But hell, nowadays that's an easy fix. Just go get the shot at week 20, and now you know. So it ain't that big of a deal at this point.
For that plan B.
I was just going to say, or plan B.
People were right, pop a plan B. You ain't gotta worry about that too. But my thing is, at this point, you know, I would have to say that's the only drawback that I see, other than in terms of making it worse for a woman than for a man. Okay, the drawback is if you have multiple partners and you get pregnant, you're gonna have to try to figure out which one. Okay, and then we just figure out which one. But the STD thing doesn't change from man to woman. I don't think if yeah, I don't think you can really play that card. Nor, and also what was in the video that he shared, it was a lot of like stereotypical stuff, because she was saying stuff like the woman is going to be looked at like this, and this is going to be what your reputation is. And I don't like that. I don't like those double standards. 50 is 50. Call a woman a hoe for 50, but then call a man the man. Like, no, that ain't cute. If she a hoe, he a hoe.
You the man for 50?
I mean, I don't know. You the one that said some men like high numbers. That's what you said.
No. I said, you said 5.
Oh my Lord, what happened?
5'10" is a high number. I said that's not a high number.
And I said some people would disagree with you. There are men out there that think three men for one woman.
3 partners is a lot. Yeah, this depends on the guy. Some guys are open-minded and some are not.
Some are not. Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying. It all goes back to that weird societal double standard. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Which is absolutely crazy.
I've always hated that.
But I understand why.
Yeah.
I understand why, because it's based on that patriarchal system that women were just used for property and, you know, all that kind of stuff anyway. So once women started taking dominion over their sexuality and their bodies, they were looked upon as, oh my God, she's such a, you know, trashy person. Oh, but you can pass me around if you want to, because I don't have nothing, I can't say nothing about it. But if I want to pass myself around, now I'm trashy. Come on now, like, that's crazy.
I don't know what man. What you said that, but what man would want to pass their, I don't know, woman, significant other, or somebody?
I'm talking about, like, that's where it started. Like, back in the day, like, that's what they were. You know what I'm saying? Like, women didn't have a choice. If your man wanted to give you to somebody else, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially back in slavery, especially black women, we didn't have the option of who we slept with. We got past the strategic property. You know what I'm saying? So once women started taking dominion over their own body, that was a problem.
With the whole woman
when they can pick
movement.
and choose.
Right.
Now I can pick and choose. You can't just pimp me out and do whatever. You know what I'm saying? I get to say, I get to choose, I get to pick. Oh, now we get titles like slut and hoe and this. Oh, okay, because I'm choosing, because it's on me now, because you can't control it. So now I got to be all of these different things. And it's just not fair.
Hey, you know, your body count could be high as a woman, or your body count can have multiple numbers, single digits, double digits. I don't think it bothers most men, but if your body count consists 2, 3, or 4 at a time, I think that's when most men have issues.
You mean at a time, like record, in one session? Like,
for the
or
record,
like in a day?
I don't care about body counts for the record, but y'all can.
No. I'm not talking about in one session. You know.
You talking about in a day or something? Like 3 in a day?
Like maybe 3 a day. Or you having one today, one tomorrow, another one next day.
What? That's the same thing, isn't it? Well, I don't see the problem with that. So, okay, so help me out now. So the body count can be 55 as long as what? As long as they were
spaced out
once a month or something. I don't understand. Like, what's the difference?
But it don't make sense.
Yeah, it don't make no sense to me.
Because guys do it all the time.
All the time.
Some of them have several girls in a day. Some of them have several girls in a day.
I have a question, Terry.
Been there, done that.
I,
Go
I have
And
a
ahead.
then
question.
have the audacity. Some of them don't even wash.
No, I have a question.
What's up? I think
So
my highest was
what is
4.
the fear? What is the fear with the body count? Do they think like it becomes damaged goods, or are
No,
they worried about
Yeah, there are
reputation,
some guys
or
that think that we like,
what's the
no,
what's
it's
the
not damaged good. It's the fact that now you got to try to live up to 20 other people that was before you, and you wonder,
that's how they think.
no?
The ones
I'm
that have
asking the
an
man.
issue with it.
Can the man answer?
Yeah,
Let me ask the man.
Yes, yes,
don't
yes.
ask a man that
Let me
question
ask the
and
man.
answer it for him.
Yeah, let me ask him. What is the fear?
What most men are concerned with when a woman has body count is that they believe that the woman shares something special with multiple people, and he's not that special.
because he ain't.
Well,
Okay, so
Tavon,
then why?
You wanted to
I get
answer?
you. All right, so
I
then why
can't with
be?
Tavon, but go ahead.
Okay, so why be passionate? Why give your all, and then she's not? She's been divided. Like she's left a piece of her and with 20 different people.
Right.
Okay,
Huh?
I get what you're saying.
Wait a minute. But say what?
He's
I
saying
missed
that
something.
if they feel as though you've been intimate and shared a piece of yourself with multiple people, so therefore when you get with him, like you're not whole anymore. You've shared a piece of you with so many people. They all have a special place with you.
So
But
she just got a
I
lot of
don't.
soul ties.
But didn't
That's
she
what
say
he's
the
saying.
same
Like
thing?
you have
So
a
he don't
multiple
have
soul
them
tie.
same soul ties. He don't have the same
But that,
amount. He don't have.
Yeah. Okay.
what
Okay.
she said.
Hold on.
What she
I'm
said.
just asking. Remember, I don't care anything about body counts.
I know. I know. You're telling us.
I understand the double standard though. That's what I'm asking.
Well, it's really
Because
not
it
a
doesn't
double.
make sense.
Listen, it's really not a double standard, right?
But a lot of women
No.
care about body counts too.
Yeah, but it's not a double standard, bro.
It's
Yeah,
not.
I've seen women say they don't want a man who has children.
Listen.
They don't want a man who has children. They don't want a man who's been with such and such. They don't want a man this. They don't want a man that. So,
Because
I mean, everybody
that's
has
some
a
girls who
preference.
don't watch they don't watch too many of the reality TV shows that they get it shit. That's some kind of girls, man. Nobody that every female come with a child nowadays. So they should know that almost every man got a child. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like men who want virgins. The only way you gonna really get a virgin if you damn near a pedophile and you watching somebody come out of damn middle school, high school, damn it, and you prepping them to be your gal. Because even in middle school, young girls are having kids now. So that body count thing, man, it's just a dude who don't really know himself. You gotta know thyself to know that. I don't care if you have 50 niggas before me. Them niggas ain't me. Them niggas ain't even saying put like me.
Right. That's
Them
how I
niggas ain't
look
gonna
at
say
it.
you over like me. Them niggas ain't gonna spin you around like me.
Okay.
Them niggas ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do then. See what I'm saying? That's how they gotta be. Because you can have
Yeah, he is.
nah.
Can we say that? I don't think we can say that word. For sure. I hope you're gonna beat that out.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, beat that out. But what I'm saying is, see, you gotta understand, I grew up with my uncle being crew. So I've seen females from all shapes, sizes, walk of life my whole life. So when I look at it, you gotta put the female and only have 4 girls in your life. Female, my life, got nothing. And then you might not woman under your belt, and a female was too many. So it's an individual thing because
Can everybody hear it, or is it just me that's hearing like it's broken up?
Nah, I was gonna ask the same question. Mine's breaking up as well. I can't hear him.
We can't hear you. Breaking up.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm in Alaska, man. They probably the phone sucks out there.
Oh, that's terrible. I want to hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
And
we
it's
can hear
like
you before, though.
it's doing like a
Before.
transforming thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you breaking up now.
Yeah, it's like you went away from your Wi-Fi or something like that.
Yeah.
Great God.
Yeah, I want to say though, the whole the body count thing. I mean, in bodies were accumulated for different reasons. You may have been in intimate relationships. Some of them may have just been something to do something you forgot about right afterwards, you know?
Right.
So I don't think you share the same level of intimacy or anything with with everyone that you've been with.
Right. You don't always leave
For
a piece
sure.
of yourself behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't, you know, me personally, myself, Cole, I don't care
Yeah.
about body count, but you just can't be with, you know, anybody in my damn family. You've been with somebody in my family, we can't rock. That's my point of view on it.
Nah, I'm on
That's
that
your
one
deal breaker.
100%, Terry. I'm with you 100%. If you with anybody in my family or if
But what if you
you
didn't?
with
Hey,
anyone,
but what if you don't know? What if so what if one of your family members been with somebody, they moved away or wherever, you meet somebody, now y'all kicking it, you in love. Your family member come back to town or he done come out of prison or something. And he see you or she see, vice versa. They be like, oh yeah, I used to hit that back in the day. What you gonna do then, Terry? Like, you can't really say that. It depends because
Bruh,
I said that.
bruh,
Yo,
bruh.
I'm serious.
Just like Tavon say, I asked the hard questions up front.
Yeah, but then something in the hard questions too. Okay,
Hey, and
right now,
I
you
know,
know my brother Coach Sean. You know my
I know,
brother. You my
I
brother.
know,
Rock.
Coach Sean. Yeah.
Okay, I know who you is. You know my brother. Now listen, y'all rocking. Now listen, me, you family, but we didn't even know we family like that because I'm in Thailand. You cross the track. You know what I'm saying? I get this girl moved back to Miami. Here it is. Y'all done got married or you kicking it with her. I come back to South Carolina to visit. I see her. I don't know this your girl. I roll on her like, damn, I ain't see you since 2 summers ago and we been, you gonna break up with your girl?
It'll be rocky. That go-
and mercy. That's my
I know.
he might just be out the door. I'm sorry. He just might have
Hey,
to go. I'm sorry.
and she just might have to go, boy. That's hey, my heart. Hey, but just just like you just said, you roll back into town. Now let's say the reason y'all stopped rocking with each other is because you moved out of town. Now she know you back in town. Now she see you. Now all of a sudden she might want to rock with you on the low. And now I find out y'all used to
Okay,
rock with each other. So like what am I gonna do with that?
okay, hold up. Hey, so now I'm gonna give you a
That
personal.
happened to me.
Hey,
That definitely happened to me. I got married and didn't know. Like somebody I
so
was in a relationship with for 5 years was
Uh-huh.
my ex-husband's cousin. Had no
wow.
clue.
Your
Okay, that's cool.
ex-husband's cousin.
Yeah,
And she,
like we were already married when I realized or found out that they were cousins.
Oh, I feel
Mm.
so sorry for you.
Wow.
I feel so sorry for you.
Hey,
Wow.
hey, it didn't. Hey, it was.
And y'all never had a conversation for you to know.
No. We had a conversation, but he knew. Okay, so when I'm very transparent. So he knew about everybody that I had dated or talked to or
Huh.
what everything, right?
Evidently he didn't.
No, he knew,
oh, you
but
knew
he
that was
didn't
your
know.
cousin.
But he didn't tell you.
No. He knew. He heard the name, so he didn't know that that was
His
He
cousin.
probably didn't
that
think to
her.
ask. You talking about my cousin Curtis?
Yeah.
So it was so because I didn't give like first, last, and middle names. You know what I'm saying? So there's
Uh-huh.
no like, and I didn't say, oh, well, and they're from there, and da 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 da. And so one day we was going to my mother-in-law's house, and
Don't tell me
I
the
didn't
cousin was
realize
there. Don't tell me the
no,
cousin was there.
no.
No, hey, no, Terry. She remember the road. She passed that road.
No.
He saw
We
picture on the wall.
No, listen. So the name of the town. I was like, oh, I said, remember when I told you that I used to talk to da-da-da-da-da? They from this place, and he was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, what's the last name? And I told him the last name. He was like, my old cousin. I said, what? And he was like, yeah, that's my cousin. And we were like,
He was
we
okay with that.
we have been married like 4 years already. Like,
Wow.
yeah, because it never needed
I
to
never like connect. Never made a connection.
connect it until I saw that sign with the town name, and I was like, oh yeah, such and such is from. And then that's when he was like, and his mama name did it, and I was like, yep, that's the one.
And that's exactly how it can happen unknowingly. You get what I'm saying?
Correct.
For sure.
That is how it can happen unknowingly.
Yep. And because again, it wasn't because I wasn't transparent. It wasn't because I was hiding it. It's just that all the dots didn't connect.
Yeah, y'all didn't connect all the
The
dots.
name, he knew, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, you had already told him, but he didn't register.
right.
It was his family.
Correct. And he
So
knew
what?
more so.
How did that go over? I'm anxious to hear.
Hold on.
Like, what is
Hey, Tavana, hold on. Is this the same husband that, hold on, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is this the same husband that in the prior episode cheated on you?
No, this is my second husband.
Okay.
Yeah, not the first. No, the second one.
Okay.
So yeah, so we just kept riding to his mama house. Like it wasn't no argument. It wasn't no, you know what I'm saying?
Hell no. It wasn't gonna be an argument, but boy, I swear I was gonna feel some type of way about
the
that.
crazy part is, like, it just became the joke. Like, later on, it was like, it was like, oh, yeah, since you out here.
That's what I want to hear. How did everybody else respond?
And so when I had saw my ex in Walmart, and we had stopped, and I didn't know he worked at Walmart. That's how long I hadn't talked to him. I didn't know he was a co-manager at a Walmart. And we had just happened to stop at this Walmart on our way to Florida. So because all we needed was one thing. So I hopped out, went in, and I'm at the self checkout, and he was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh, hey." So I get back in the car, no long conversation, nothing like that. Just, "Hey, okay, how you doing?" Whatever. I get back in the car, and I'm like, "Oh, guess who I just saw at Walmart? Your cousin."
Wow.
I have.
And it was nothing, because I mean, at the end of the day, what you gonna do?
Okay.
It was so long ago. Like, what you gonna do?
I have two instances I want to talk about. The first one is my wife and I. She was my girlfriend at the time. You know, we had already moved in together. I found out that she knew one of my cousins, right? She's like, "Oh, that was my best friend."
Oh.
Conversation turned right immediately. "Oh, that was your best friend." I know how some best friends go. So I need to ask this question. Did you sleep with your best friend? Oh no. I said, "You sure?" Because if you did now it's time to tell me. Oh, no, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. You know, we were just strictly friends. So, okay. So that's cool. So we continued our relationship, because I think at that point, had she been honest with me, or if she had told me they did, then I think we would have probably split. And
I mean, did you find out later that she did or no?
No.
Or they stuck to the line?
No. They stuck to the line.
Oh, okay.
They might have stuck to the line, but as long as the damn line's the same across the board, I'm cool with it.
Right. As long as don't nobody change that line, no more
no
harm, no
time.
foul.
We good.
Okay.
Right.
I want to share something right quick. Now, when we talk about this full disclosure, I believe that a person's business is their business. So that's not fair to a woman that I may have been intimate with to go out and just talk their business. So if somebody's like, "Have you ever slept with such and such?" Hey, that's not your business. I don't care about your past. So who I've been with should not, be a concern to you.
Please, cool.
But no, I think that depends on the person, because everybody don't think like that. So
I'm saying with me, that's why I don't care about your past, because that's not okay. If I were with someone, I might have been with a woman while she was married, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't want that disclosed. She doesn't want that out, and that's not fair to her to go out saying, "Oh yeah, I was sleeping with her," but then they're gonna be like, "Oh no, I can't be with you. You used to mess with my girl. You mess with my soror. You mess with my." "Oh, we were college roommates in '97 or something crazy like that."
Loyalty to that.
They do that.
So
They do that. Oh, that's my sister. I can't do that.
No.
Whatever. The past is the past. Whatever you've done, because whatever you've done or who you've been with, that has nothing to do with me. I don't care about that. It's a different experience.
Check this out, because it's crazy, because it's not the same for men and women. Some it's different, man. Some people have different reactions. And now here's the other instance I wanted to tell you about. I was away from Charleston. I was in the Army. Now, I dated this girl before I left and went in the Army. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The girl found out that I was back in Charleston after no communication, but somehow she found out that I was back in Charleston. Now, she was talking to one of my homeboys. My homeboy didn't know who she was, but she knew who he was.
Mm.
So when she found out I was back in Charleston, she told the dude, my homeboy, my roadie, I'm going to call his name. I won't say the last name. I'm going to say his first name.
No, don't call his name. Don't call no names. Just say person.
But
Just
I
say
won't
person
quote
name.
Sean and no, I won't quote
No,
Sean.
well, you tell him somewhere else. Don't tell him on here.
She said text him on the back end.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
We don't want no liability over here. Tell him on the back
Okay.
end. Thank you.
So she told my homeboy that I said he wasn't allowed to speak to her anymore. She wasn't allowed to speak to him anymore. So when she came out and told me that she had said that, I was a little distraught. I was like, really? I didn't say that. You could have, continued to speak to him if that's what you wanted to do. Well, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Well, why you throw me in the mix like that? So I was like, okay, you know what? You and I, we not even gonna have this conversation. Let's change the subject. When I see him, I have a conversation with him. So I thought, I slept on his couch. He slept on my couch. We've gotten suspended, expelled from school together. Like this my dog. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I figured we would at least have a conversation. When this guy saw me, he had nothing to say to me. He wouldn't even talk to me.
Wow.
Over what?
I'm a little bit
lied.
confused.
Over what?
That's
Nothing.
some girly,
And I
girly.
didn't even say anything.
But it wasn't over nothing. Technically, it was over a lie that was told to him.
Well, again, Koshan and any man on the panel, if y'all friends, y'all owe each other at least a conversation. You don't agree?
I agree. I definitely agree.
I definitely agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
for
going to
sure.
say I've been with a few people. I don't need to get into details. That's that person's business. If I was in a public relationship with them, okay, I dated this girl. We lived together for some years. But anybody that I had a secret relationship with, that's between us.
No, that's just that. That's a secret relationship.
Yeah,
no,
that's
but
somebody's business.
this is different.
And I better
Like,
say
he
it's
was
talking
saying-
about, but I'm interested to know what this, like, homeboy rule is, because I think different men might have different stances. I definitely think a conversation is warranted. Some guys feel like you should not talk to anybody that is their roadie, their friend. And they feel they have to cut it off
Right.
once they find out.
If their friend wants to tell them, ooh, but they won't come from me. So I just put it that way.
Again, he was like he was one of my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
My roadie.
You don't talk to this day?
Yeah, he owes you a conversation for
I
sure.
don't talk to this day. Now,
That's crazy.
like I said, we slept on each other's couch. We've driven each
Y'all
other's
were close.
cars.
Wow.
Your family was my family. When you got in trouble, my family was there for you. And we was that close. So I figured
But
we
he's
would
mad because he thinks, he's upset because he thinks you tried to tell him he had to break it off with the girl that he's caring about.
All I wanted was a conversation when I saw him. Now,
I think he should have talked to you for sure.
When I saw him, I said, "Hey, man, come over. Let me holler at you real quick." Because I'm sitting in my car. He's at the gas pump. He just finished pumping his gas. I pulled up beside his car. "Come over, man. Let me talk to you." "Oh, hell no, man. That's some bad. Did you tell that girl this, that, and the third?" Da, 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 da. I was like, "Damn, dog, you won't even have a conversation with me?" F that. Like, wow. No, I didn't think we would ever be like that. But
Right.
okay, so I left it alone. But, if that's what she
Is
wanted
that
to
like,
do,
is that like a weird, what do you call it, defense mechanism?
yeah.
Like him feeling guilty.
I have no idea. but it is some type of defense mechanism. I don't know about him feeling guilty, but it is a defense type of
He
mechanism.
might have felt guilty and felt he had to sabotage the relationship. Because I don't know.
But I
That's
come to
weird.
find out afterwards that
You
wasn't the
trying,
first time
Robin.
he
You
did it.
trying. It's okay, Robin.
It's weird. It just don't make sense to me that he wouldn't talk to him. I'm trying to figure out, like, and I'm bad at that, trying to create, figure out the reason. But I want to know the reason he would do that, not speak to him. And they've been friends like that. And
I think
I
that's
gotta,
weird too. Like, just to not even like have a conversation. Like, you know what I'm saying? But there are some people, you know, like, I don't know. Like, if my homegirl told somebody don't, you can't talk to her cause whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might not deal with that homegirl cause you too insecure for me. Like, I don't understand that type of stuff and I don't move in that type of way. But like, if it's somebody she was dealing with, to
No,
me, that's
she wasn't dealing with him. He was trying to get to know her. So they indulged in conversation, but that's as far as that went. So
okay.
he wanted more, but she wanted more with me.
Oh, so he
uh,
was just butthurt that he didn't get chosen.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was a
yeah,
pick
yeah.
me.
that's what happened. Now I got it. See, I was
So he was just a pick me, and he
That's
didn't
right.
get picked,
That's right. That's it.
But all
and
I
so he
wanted
was
was a
butthurt.
conversation. But all I wanted was a conversation with him.
You don't need a
but okay, what
conversation
was
with that because it's
To,
like
to me,
right,
our friendship was worth
because she
more.
went, oh, absolutely, but
maybe your friendship was worth more to you, but not him. Y'all ain't had the same
right.
type of friendship.
I went through something similar with my former best friend. I'm not even getting into it, but that's not, it's weird.
Yeah, some people just don't have no loyalty and don't care. Because my former best friend is married to and got a baby with one of my exes. So
What?
it's yeah, child. And I mean, it ain't like
You being that secure woman, strong secure woman that you are, it probably don't bother you anyway.
oh no,
You
it
know,
don't matter because they both
let them
some
have
damn
at it.
clowns. Yeah, I don't care about that because because at the end of the day, she the one that was hiding it. She was hiding who her
Mm-hmm.
baby daddy was because she knew that if anybody knew who it was gonna be a firestorm because everybody knew about me and him. So she was gonna look
Mm-hmm.
stupid from the jump. And so it wasn't until he posted the baby shower pictures that my phone started blowing up.
Okay,
And it
So
was
everybody
like
like, did you see the
everybody was
picture?
like, "Do you see this? What is going on?" And I was like, "Yeah,
Wow.
clown."
That's how you found out? But is that
Yeah,
how you found out?
yeah, because people
Oh
started
my
calling my
God.
phone like batty, 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 batty. My phone was just blowing up. Like, wait a minute, didn't you and him used to talk? Yeah, this girl used to take me to his house. Like, so it ain't like she ain't know. You my best friend. You need.
damn, was they together when y'all was together?
Like, no, because back then she was absolutely nobody, and so you know
I mean, hell, if she was taking you to his house and then they ended up together, I don't know.
no, that
That's
was
one of the questions I would ask, or
no,
maybe
this
not
is what
ask them,
happens
but
when
ask myself.
this is what happens when two dummies decide.
Right,
And it's very single black female-ish, like
right.
everything that I done had you trying to have, and girl, you got some real sloppy seconds.
Well,
Like,
well,
trust me.
well. Look at it. Look at it like this. Maybe them two dummies was meant for each other.
I mean, that's fine. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
no problems with it. I can
You
care
just
less.
got caught in the middle. That's all.
I ain't get caught in the middle of nothing because I really don't care. Because again, my relationship don't look like the clown shit. That they look like the circus, not me. So you know what I'm saying? So hey, whatever.
Hey, man, Coach,
And
we're
and if
gonna
I
talk
was
about a little. Coach,
and if
we're gonna
I
talk
and I'm
about a
just
little
glad
bit of
I'm not the
everything.
person that I used to be because if I was, trust me, it would
Yeah,
have
don't
gone a
do it.
whole different
Don't
way.
do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. Been there, done that. It ain't worth it.
I mean,
It
not
ain't worth
bad,
it.
but I could have
Yeah,
definitely shown her you're not the first option.
yeah. Don't do it.
I'm glad I only have one sister, and the two women that are the closest to me that is not blood, I met them when they were just moving here from another state. So we all became real close real quick, and we have stayed that way in all this time. So everybody they dealt with, I know about. Everybody I dealt with, they know about. So I don't think we'll have them problems. Cause if I run across you, I already know you done been with her, and I know I ain't messing with you.
Well, Yeah, this.
But anybody else, any other acquaintance that I have, like again, those are my friends and my sister. But if you just an acquaintance, not somebody I consider really part of my inner circle, baby, life is life.
Okay.
And
But
connection is connection.
And
that
then the crazy
situation
part
was
is,
a young kid.
but this same girl, like, it done been situations where it's like, okay, I used to deal with this person, and she'd be like, "Oh, I think he's cute," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. Okay, cool. It's worth it. Go ahead. Like, I'm not mad. Like,
It's worth it, huh?
yeah, it's worth it. Go ahead. You should try it. I think you should try it. You're gonna enjoy it. Go ahead and try it."
Cool,
so,
Sean. We done talked about everything under the sun, man. I don't know if we still on topic or
Yeah,
not.
yes, we are. Hey, listen, this is what it's about. The premise of the show is communication. Everything that
Okay.
we talked about, what did it come back to? Communication.
Communication.
Well, we talked about knowing who somebody's been with, their body counts. What do you have to do? Communicate.
Okay.
Okay,
And
I got a question.
I'm a firm believer, like I said, man, I am a firm believer that a person's business is their business. You know, okay, I've been married. So there's no question. I have kids. So there's no question that I've been with those people
Right.
sexually. But anybody else, that's their business.
Right.
So
Hey,
I'm not going to
okay, I got
ask
a question,
you.
Coach Sean.
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you ladies this. Okay, this is my question. Just is
Mm-hmm.
about communication. All right, so I've been married twice. So my second
Yeah.
marriage, I've been all in. But both of them I was all in time. But my second wife told me that she cheated because I worked too much. So if it's about communication, she not only cheated with somebody who she used to go with, she ended up having a baby for him. But I remember I was talking about pillow talking. So if I had met this girl, proposed to her, give her the wedding of her life, and then I'm at work and you cheat with your ex, then what kind of communication is that? Because I've never met a female who said, "Oh, my man worked too much. That's why I just be going out here and give away my goodies to another man." So,
Okay. I
you know what
want
I'm
to say
saying?
this, and I'm not trying to, and allegedly, because we didn't see her cheat, but
Hey, that's not all baby.
just for the sake of the show,
For the
allegedly,
sake
I know,
for the
for the sake of the
sake of
show,
the show.
Coach
Right.
Sean with his
allegedly,
allegedly.
I didn't see her.
Okay.
I never saw her. So listen, what I will say this. Your situation is an extenuating situation, and I think that's rare. You're a merchant seaman. You go off for Alaska for months at a time, right? I think that less than 1% of women have ever experienced that. So people would say, I can deal with it, I'm capable of, until the time comes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, you come home, you're thinking,
like
hey,
military.
it's right. So now it's like, well, I'm about to get on the road. I'm about to give my baby some loving. You done did whatever you want to do to her, but now you really you have her aroused, and now you get on the road and going off to Alaska for 3 months.
Yeah, I do.
No, and I'm not making any excuses. I'm just trying to process it. I'm trying to process it and put it into perspective. What would you have done? And we being completely honest and transparent. What would you have done if your wife went off? Huh?
Well, my man would have to. It would have to be a lot longer than 3 months. 'Cause 3 months ain't long enough for me to need to cheat.
After. So Terry, if your woman went away for some months on a ship to Alaska, months at a time, and you're thinking that I can do something that she won't find out, how many of you here think that you would step out?
I know.
Right.
As a man, I
Okay, this is what I'm
probably
saying,
would.
fam.
As a man, I probably would. But
But we don't
but
expect a woman to.
As a
Not
woman,
if you
I
want to go on a
probably
run.
would. This is not a
Right.
man thing.
Right.
but as
It's a
yeah,
human
but
thing.
let's say a woman stepped out on her husband while he's out away working, and she ends
Not
up
cheating.
pregnant.
Work. Work. See, she ain't. No. See, you want
Right.
let me tell you the whole story first. Hold on,
But
let me give you more insight, Terry.
no.
So you would know.
No. She's not here to defend it. So we just
No, we don't need
hypothetical.
we don't
We
need
don't
no
need
more
details.
insight. We
We
get
don't
it.
do
You was at
details.
work.
Right.
They don't need no more than
Yeah.
that. Yeah. We
So,
get it. You was at work.
I
yeah.
gave a
So,
perspective because I don't want them to think that you went to work at 9 and got off at 5 and her booty was in the air. You know what I'm saying?
right.
No, but this is
Not
it.
her
This is
booty
why
was in the air.
communication is important.
Out of
Listen,
control.
But this is why
Out of
communication is
control.
important. You have to know what you can deal with and what you can not deal with.
listen.
So if you know that you can't deal with your partner being away for long extended periods of time, y'all need to have a conversation about that.
Hey,
You see what I'm saying?
But
And
the
this is why
conversation was
this is
here,
Y'all was quite better.
she should have.
So she's just a liar.
She should have
right.
had
She
that
thought she said
conversation
she
with.
could handle it. Right. She should have handled the
Had the
conversation and
conversation
say,
with you.
I
Period.
thought I could handle it, but now I can't. And so
Right.
that's what it is. Because again, it can change. Like Coach Sean said, you think you can deal with it until it actually starts.
After,
Right.
and you know, if you're that type of person, that you need that
That you
attention.
realize that you can't, you got to have that conversation. Hey, it changed.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a woman. But this is a woman who had conversations saying, "I don't like my ex. She did me
I
wrong."
don't like my what?
But she ain't like she can't stand her ex. She hate him. He did her wrong.
Oh, she
But
just a
you
lie.
like, what that?
She just a lie. She just a
Okay,
lie.
Yeah,
so
there's an
Listen.
integrity issue there.
conversation. I'm saying conversation was bad because you got to.
Well, here's the telltale. If a woman is telling you she hates somebody and that's something that she's repeated multiple times, she doesn't hate them. She still loves them.
It's called there's a thin line between love and hate. There's a reason why they say that, because when you like somebody and they hurt you, you feel like you hate them, but it's just love. It's disappointment.
Right.
And Terry, the guy that's the biggest threat is the guy that she has blocked, okay? She doesn't block him for behavior. She blocked him because
Wow.
she knows that if they're in an elevator together, she's gonna fold like a pretzel.
Out
She blocked him.
control.
She blocked him to protect her space.
He is not lying.
So
Yep,
I'm telling you,
check
I used to be on my 10 block list.
That's the one.
Good Lord, I ain't on no block list, bro.
Yeah,
So
I
you
used to
on
be on
the
a bunch
block
of block lists. Then you get on that block list because
If you try
Yeah.
to do the right thing, you gotta block them.
they block you, they
Right.
want to friend you, they want to get over you and everything.
Because
Blocking ain't for me to be petty. I
all
don't
they
block
take
you
is
to be
behavior.
petty. I block you to help my own temptation.
Exactly.
Right.
Behavior,
Exactly.
all
It's not being petty at all, but it's like, I got to end this.
But
Yep.
here's a real experience for y'all, man. I was driving trucks over the road at the time, so I was doing all 48 states. I would be gone for 3 months at a time
Over the road.
over the road. So the girl that I was dating at the time, when I would stop for a weekend, like if I was stopping in Cali for the weekend, and I knew it was coming out, I'd call her and be like, "Hey, I need you to book a ticket to Cali."
Mm-hmm.
Cali for the weekend. She'd get on the plane. She'd fly out to Cali, and we spend the weekend together. Turn into like a little short vacation, a staycation, a weekend thing. We rent a car and we stay in Cali. We move around. That way I wasn't driving the truck, and we get a hotel room. And when I pull out, like on a Monday morning, so like on a Sunday evening, she would fly back out from Cali back to South Carolina. But that was one of those things where she communicated with me. She's like, "Look, I know I kind of pushed you to go over the road, thinking, the money was better, whatever, yada, yada, yada. It's good, but you've been going too long."
Mm-hmm.
So, we came up with different ways or, talked about different ways to try to make
Address it, to be together, try to make it work.
So can I ask the
so we
question?
can still spend lots of time together. Yeah.
So did she cheat on you the very first time you went out on the road for 3 months and got pregnant? Or was this like down the line after some time of you being back and forth on the road?
Who, me? She didn't get pregnant. That wasn't me. She didn't get pregnant on me.
That was Curtis. That was Curtis' situation.
Oh, that was Curtis. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You and Curtis kind of sounded like, my bad.
No, that wasn't me. That was Curtis. Curtis, what's your last name?
Pinckney. That's Curtis Pinckney.
What's happening with your big dog?
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because
Yeah.
I'm like, but did you suggest, like, I'm thinking in my mind, did you suggest those things to your new wife, like, before she cheated? Or, okay, so wrong person, wrong story.
That was Terry and that was Curtis. Yeah, that's
I got it. Wrong
yeah.
person,
But
wrong
no,
story.
but that's how we made better time together. You know, because there was a couple times I stopped out in
Because
New
that's good
York.
communication, though. That's, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Yes, good communication is
yeah,
talking about it, and it's understanding your person's love language and what they need, right?
right,
Because if your person's love language is quality time and physical touch, you can't be gone on that ain't gonna work.
right, right, right.
They can say as much as they want that they can deal with it, that they're okay. That's a need for them. It's not a want, it's a need.
Okay,
And so they're
so
not going to be able to go without that. And so you have to understand that. So you have to make those provisions. You have to say, do it like what you're saying. Hey,
but my
I'm not going to be able to
person
get
love
there, so
language
you got
wasn't
to
that.
come here.
My person love language was more affirmation and fucking gift giving. They love gifts. Second, I wasn't gone for 3 months. I was going a month. And
Was
I
it the
was
first month that you was ever gone?
nah, I don't even know when it started because that's what I'm saying. The whole story. Like, okay, so like I said, I'm from Richardson. I was working in the article. This woman said, "Oh, I want this kind of wedding." So, if you want this kind of wedding, I'm like, well, shit, I'm gonna work. So the wedding was like almost 77,000 when it was all totaled out. Pay for that shit. It's like, so if I'm working to pay for this extravagant wedding because it was her second marriage, like my second marriage, but she said her first marriage, she didn't have a wedding. So she wanted this nice ass wedding. I was in the wedding. You see how the wedding was. I paid for it. So it was just the fact that her ex hung with her boy cousin and her auntie helped put the shit together because she's always been like, gotta go see my auntie. My auntie calling me. Her auntie boyfriend and the dude, they friends. So when the cheating happened, everybody lied to me. I never knew. She was on my health insurance and stuff. So how I found out about the cheating is, Blue Cross Blue Shield send you that shit. This is not a bill, but they tell you what all you did I pay for. And it said prenatal, pregnancy test, all this shit. All that was in the paperwork. So that's how I found out that she was pregnant. I was not even home during the time for you to be pregnant.
Oh,
And
wow.
you know what I'm saying? So when it all boiled down to it, she lied. She hid her baby, everything, and made it seem like I was the bad guy of our neighborhood. Like I did her wrong or I was cheating. Then when the truth finally came out, it was like, oh, don't worry about it. You a G, man. Just wipe it off. Like, save me something thousand in a hole on a wedding. I'm thousands in a hole on building a house. Like, it was so many shit that's into this variable. So it's just the fact that even though y'all say communicate and talk
You
to
did too
people,
much. You did too much.
I
Did too
mean,
much. Did
it's
too
I
much.
mean, you did a lot, and it was for the wrong person. It was just for the wrong person.
I can look at it that way, but I mean, if you're married to somebody, I never think it's too much if you married and it's your wife. Like,
Mm,
you're supposed to
mm,
go all out for your wife, right?
mm,
Shit, this man said, I
Who's
mean,
saying mm-mm?
that's Terry saying, that's Terry.
mm,
First of
mm,
all, Terry, I've been married for 15 years the first time I was married. And the
mm.
crazy shit is, I'm a dog. I feel like this. If you're married and you're with someone, you do what you're supposed to do to make sure you and your family's great. You don't try to be like the Joneses. But
Right.
if I'm married and I feel like I want to start a business with me and my wife and I wanted to do this, then as being a man, I'm gonna do that. So it's never
Mm-hmm.
too much. It's just
Mm-hmm.
the fact that the woman did the wrong shit. It ain't on the man. Like
I'm gonna go with Deborah, and I'm gonna say you did too much for the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
so,
It's not that he did too
so
much.
Deborah,
He
so
just
after you
everything he did, it was for the wrong person.
But listen though, but then everything we do in life will probably be for the right person because nobody, not one person ever gonna be satisfied. Like there's not.
No, that's not true. How you really need to take that is that's like a learning lesson for yourself to be more perceptive and you be more communicative, right? Don't leave it
Oh
up to
yeah,
anyone else to communicate things that you
I learned my
need to
lesson.
communicate.
Trust me, I learned my lesson. I'm a
That's what and that's probably what needed to happen, right?
trust me.
That's probably what needed to happen.
See, the female gotta come almost with everything to fuck with me now. I feel you, shorty. You ain't got right with that. It would never happen again. I'm telling you,
You
I
know,
learned
but
my
now
age.
you just be more
What?
perspective, you be more introspective, and you just make sure that regardless of what questions she asks,
Hey,
you asking all the questions that you need to know the answers to.
ladies, appreciate you, man. That go back to the conversation we had the other day. You
90
know,
seconds.
when you're younger, you know, you're fine with getting married and having a big extravagant wedding and doing all of this and all of that. But as you get older and more mature in life, and you go through certain situations, it changes your perspective. So when it's time for round two, you know, you're a little bit more standoffish. You know, you stand back a little bit more, you watch a little bit more. All right. So men are not rushing into, oh, this 1 year thing. I figure we date for a year and then we go ahead and get married. No. Men don't do that. Especially after you gotten burnt, especially you get burned bad the first time. Nah.
Yeah, I don't even talk about marriage no more, bro.
Nah.
I don't even want to go to nobody's wedding. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, they talk about all single men to the floor because they want to throw up the little thing.
You
No,
can't listen,
I'm
bro.
not even going out there. Nah.
Listen, my homeboy invited me to his wedding, man. I got him a job out here. I told myself, I'm coming, man. I ain't going to the cookout or whatever afterwards. He had the next thing. He said, man, you didn't show up to my wedding. That, bro, I ain't even want to see it, bro. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Huh?
I want to thank everybody for coming out. We're down to our last segment.
Nope.